Good afternoon. I'm Fereidoon Khosravi from Venera Technologies. Very pleased to be here in the Extreme booth at IBC. And so I wanted to give you an update on all the new announcements we're making at the show about Pulsar, our file-based QC system, and all the new features we have added. Just very quickly about Venera, we are a QC specialist company with on-premise as well as in-cloud QC solutions with 150 plus customers and partners worldwide. Just a very quickly overview of Pulsar. As you may know, Pulsar is a file-based QC solution that for verification of container, metadata, audio, video structure, as well as the variety of quality parameters. And it can be used at various stages of workflow. You may already know Pulsar supports all popular audio, video, codec, and container formats, including adaptive bitrate, audio stems, IMF and DCP packages. Pulsar supports HDR 10 plus Dolby Vision, and can do loudness detection as well as loudness correction. We also can identify the audio language of your file, as well as we provide a long list of ready-made templates, QC templates, that allows you to perform your QC job quickly. So that's just a little background in terms of Pulsar. So very quickly getting to some of the quality checks we perform in terms of color gamut, luminance, cadence, photosensitive epilepsy, combing, Dolby Vision related blockiness, freeze frames. So variety of video checks as well as a series of audio checks, such as for loudness, for audio drops, audio clipping, and identification of language. So that brings you up to speed very quickly about what Pulsar can offer. Now here more specifically about the features that we are and have announced at the show today. Is the first one is availability of the Harding PSC support for HDR content. Up to this point, we were providing the PSC support for SDR content, and now we're providing the support for HDR content as well. And there's a big difference between SDR and HDR, so the PSC support for HDR is something that has been requested for a long time, and we're happy to bring that within Pulsar. The other big news for Pulsar is the inclusion and introduction of reference-based analysis. So I'll get into more details of that in a minute, but let me start with the Harding PSC first. So the Harding PSC, as I mentioned to you, is for HDR and SDR. So within the Pulsar template interface, now you can specify the particular type of PSC check they want to perform. It is a Cambridge Research Harding PSC, which is a gold standard for PSC, and that we have integrated with Pulsar. The reference-based analysis is the next big item we will be announcing. There are two parts to the reference-based analysis. One is a frame-by-frame comparison. So we can actually look at frame by frame and detect and report back if there are pieces of the frame that are different from one to the other. The other part of our reference-based analysis has to do with calculating and reporting SSIM or PSNR score, so that we can actually compare your test file with a reference file, because you may have many derivatives of your master file, and compare it in terms of quality and report back whether what the SSIM or PSNR scores, which are the well-known scores, well-known algorithms, and then we can return those results back to you. And if it goes below a certain level, we can tell you whether they're failed or there was a warning. The screen shows you the settings that you have in the Pulsar template to specify the SSIM and PSNR scores. The next item on our list of features we have announced is Media Offline. So Media Offline, as you may know, in your editor, if a portion of your file is for some reason is not in the location that it's expected to be, when the file is rendered, this Media Offline frame shows up within your file. And as part of the QC, the operator would have to actually scan for it, look for it, to be able to find it. Now we have automated the process so that you could actually detect it without having to watch the file. The next addition to Pulsar is the URL detection. This is the ability for Pulsar to detect the presence of URL in your video. Many of our customers have been asking that they do not expect or they do not want to see the URL at the beginning or at the end of their video, and so Pulsar now can detect and report that back to you. The next Pulsar news is the Pulsar Postal Stamp Detection. So the Postal Stamp Detection is the notion of having borders all around your content. So you could have a full frame content, and all of a sudden, at certain point within your file, you have a postal stamp. With this addition in Pulsar, you can actually detect it. Pulsar reports back the location of where the postal stamp is occurring with the time code, so the operator can see it and fix it. Slate Detection is the next feature that we announced in Pulsar, ability for Pulsar to detect the location of a slate. Many of our customers have asked that the piece of content that they want to process, they want to make sure there's no slate within that content. So Pulsar is now capable of looking through the file and looking if a slate is present within the file, detecting that, reporting back the location of the slate so that it can be removed. And finally, the frame shift detection is another feature added. It is possible that in your file, we're supposed to have a full frame active picture, that the picture may shift up or down. As part of the editing, it may happen. So what Pulsar does can actually look for and detect when the frame shift has occurred, give you a time code, the frames, and the frame index where that occurred, so that, again, the operators can go fix that. There is a series of other enhancements in Pulsar. For example, we have enhanced the color bar detection for accuracy and performance so that we can more quickly and more accurately detect and report back existence of color bar within the file. Or we have done similarly enhancements to combing detection, so we can detect the combing effect in the file and report back the time code of that effect. Our reports now can be generated, including a JSON report, the hardening certificate that we generate, and will be an attachment with the email that goes back when the job is finishes. You can decide in your configuration whether you want a report come back to you if the job fails, or the job succeeds, or all the jobs, or only one fail, and then include the JSON report and the hardening certificate with it. We have also added the LFE validation within Pulsar, so you can now validate that the LFE channel is the channel they expect it to be. And based on customer feedback, we have added the capability for customers to add your own logo to the Pulsar report. So it's no longer just the Pulsar logo. It can be customized to be your logo. So that quickly was the list of, let me go back just quickly. So the list of things we have covered, the addition of the support for HDR for PSC, reference-based analysis of SSIM and PSNR, detection of media offline, detection of URL, detection of postal stamp, detection of slate, and detection of frame shift. All these additional detections have been added to Pulsar, along with a very long list of other detections and checks we already perform. Thank you very much. Please contact us with any questions that you may have. Thank you.